Okay, we're going.
Okay, well, again, thank you everyone for being here on this webinar on this St. Patrick's Day. And what's really wonderful is I'm actually in New York City visiting my daughter, her family, and two lovely young Irish boys. And Paul Engemann is in Provo. And so what's wonderful about how this industry is changing little by little, it continues to change and grow, is look what we can do. We can have meetings like this and have people from around the world literally joining us. So we are thrilled you were here today. My name is Wanda Royce, in case there's some people who do not know me. My background is in the corporate world. And I've always had that as plan A, but Paul and I met in another company, and I've fallen in love with this business model. It is a phenomenal business model where people are really helping each other. So my plan B is this business right now, but it is definitely growing to my plan A, and so I'm thrilled. And the gentleman that you're going to be hearing today, he is a multi-million-dollar earner in that other previous company, and he's well on his way to leading all of us to being a multi-million earners in this as well, because he is now a Diamond Elite. And so what that means for all of us is he knows how to build a business, he knows how to understand product and help us understand product. And what's really important is he is our mentor and our leader. So he is there for us. As you can see right now, he has all kinds of people who are here on this call, and because they're following his leadership. And so, Paul, I just have to say, we are so thrilled. He's a rock star in the real world, and he's a rock star in our RAIN International. So here is Mr. Paul Engemann.
Oh, thank you so much. You know, Wanda, that's such a lovely introduction. What I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to mute everybody now so that we don't have any background noise. So give me 1 second. Okay. Okay, well, very good. Well, as Wanda said, my name is Paul Engemann, and I'm going to start a presentation here. Let me just share my screen with you. There we go. All right. Well, as I said, my name's Paul Engemann, and I have been in network marketing full-time for about 13 years. And as Wanda said, I was a multi-million-dollar earner in our previous company. About a year and a half ago, I decided that it was time to leave that company for various reasons, but found this company. My background, as Wanda said, is I was in rock and roll for many years. So yes, that's me when I actually had hair. But had some hit records back in the 1980s. And then after I left show business, my wife and I started a traditional business, an interior design firm. We wound up being featured on the front cover of Architectural Digest and did that for about 13 years. But in 2005, I was introduced to network marketing and became a top runner in that company. So I live in Provo, Utah. Provo is about 45 miles south of Salt Lake City. I live here with my wife and used to be my son. Now he lives in Burbank, California, and is about to be married. But what people don't know about Provo, Utah is that it's kind of the nerve center of network marketing in the world. This is a map of Provo and Salt Lake, and this is about a 50-mile drive between Provo and Salt Lake. And in that little 50-mile drive on the I-15 corridor there are 340 network marketing companies. So I've really seen it all. I've seen all the different companies, all the different choices. There's some great companies, great products out there. But when I left my previous company, I was looking for just the right company to join. And I was called by a woman named Susie Kwok. Now, Susie's kind of a legend in the network marketing industry. She's probably earned about $20 million in our industry. But she's also very concerned about health and wellness, just as I am. So Susie called me and she said, you've got to check out the company that I'm with. It's called RAIN International. They have amazing products that really help people. And she says, I've earned about $7 million here since I joined. So that got my attention. And as I checked it out, I saw that it had everything that I was looking for. Amazing products, wonderful opportunity, fantastic leadership, terrific compensation plan. So, you know, some of you may have come onto this webinar today to learn more about the products. Some of you may have come to learn more about the business. And we are going to talk about both. We're going to cover all the products and the science behind it, as well as the opportunity. So thanks for your attention. I did join RAIN about 1.5 years ago and have just loved every minute of my participation. So let's talk about trends in health and wellness. You know, we've seen companies that have introduced, you know, the concept of herbs for wellness, capsules, encapsulating those herbs and those natural things. That's another faction of health and wellness. Juices, superfruit juices. A lot of companies have introduced those. Essential oils from nature. These are all good things. These are all wonderful things. And each one of these things is kind of a category, right? And some of those companies that introduce these categories, they become the category creators in that area. They've created billions of dollars in sales, helped, you know, millions and millions of people with their health, and created millions, thousands at least, and hundreds of thousands of individual millionaires within those companies. But I'll tell you, before it was an herb, before it ever wound up in a capsule, before it was ever a superfruit juice, before it was an essential oil, before all of these good things were these good things, what were they? Well, they were seeds. That is the source of all nutrition. As a matter of fact, you know, the source of all life. We were seeds before we were people. So seeds are amazing things. There's so much potential, information, and nutrition in a seed. And this is really, really important because in the world today, pardon me, nutrition is dying. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, I want you to think about something. Think in your mind 20 years ago. If you're 20 years or older, 20 years ago, did you know anybody that had a gluten allergy? Do you know a lot of people that have a gluten allergy now? 20 years ago, did you know anybody that had fibromyalgia or lupus? Was the rate of obesity the same as it was 20 years ago? Is it the same now? Absolutely not. What's happening? Why is this happening? You know, why is 1/3 of the United States obese? No, more than that is obese. I'm sorry, I take that back. It's more. The rate in individual states, the highest rate in the 90s used to be about 15%. Do you know it's 39% in many states now? That's in a 20-year period. 1/3 of all Americans have diabetes or are pre-diabetic. How did that happen? And I suspect that it is similar in many of the developed nations of the world. How's that happening? And why are people so sick and so obese and so tired, so unhealthy? Why is that? Well, in a world, the irony is this: in a world where we can produce more food than ever, we are a very malnourished people. And why is that? What's causing that? Well, the food industry and the health industry have turned to genetically modified organisms. In 1994, the first genetically modified seed was introduced to the world by Monsanto. And now pretty much everything you eat is genetically modified. And you're cooking it in oils that are genetically modified corn oil. Foods have a lot of fillers in them now. We are eating, believe it or not, a lot of petroleum. Actual oil is in our food. Why is that? Because it's cheap, it's inexpensive, and it doesn't spoil like natural oils do. And so they put it in a lot of different foods. It's in a lot of different food colorings. You know, we're farming in a lot of non-sustainable ways, and the soil is becoming depleted. All the chemicals that we are exposed to are not good for us. And all of the processed foods that we're eating, you know, are causing damage to our body. Why does the food industry do this? Well, because it's easier for them. It's cheaper for them. It's better for them, but it's certainly not better for us. And it's causing all of these problems. So what is the solution? Well, let's get back to the source of all nutrition, seeds. Do you know that seeds have 20 to 30 times the active ingredients, gram per gram, than any other part of a plant or fruit or vegetable. It's locked in there. And just think about this. It makes logical sense, doesn't it? You take this little tiny, tiny seed and you plant it in the earth, and it can become a giant redwood tree. You know, how does that happen? Well, there's a lot of genetic information in that seed. There's a lot of potential. There's a lot of energy in that seed. You know, if a nuclear bomb went off in our world and wiped out a lot of the life here, what would you need to reestablish life? Well, you'd need a couple of people, male and female, and you'd need seeds. If you were to take an apple, pardon me, and peel that apple and put the peel over here and the fruit right here and the seeds right here and the stem right here and leaves right here, and you walked away for 10 years and then came back, what is the only thing that is of any use? The seed. The seed will still be there. All the information's in it. You plant that seed and you have apple trees and many, many, many apples. How many apples are in a seed? So locked in that seed is all of that potential, all of that nutrition. Seeds have all of the vitamins, all of the minerals, all of the proteins, all of the enzymes, all of the essential fatty acids that we need for our sustenance. And so the key is finding a way to unlock all of that nutrition from those seeds so that our bodies can actually absorb that nutrition. Because let's face it, if you were to sit down with a bowl full of seeds and chow down on them, they would just go right through you, right? So what RAIN has done is they have found a way to cold press all of that nutrition out of different seeds and different combinations, and they have created some very powerful, powerful products for your health. And this is a solution to the nutrition deficit that the world is suffering. You know, where do people get most of their food now? Well, unfortunately, sitting in a car in a drive-through at a fast food joint. That's where many, many people are getting their nutrition. So they have that nutrition deficit, and this is a convenient way to rectify that. Now, so this is just a very short list of some of the health benefits, pardon me, that are documented from seeds. They support your brain. They help with cognition. They increase anti-aging factors at the cellular level. They help us become more hydrated. They can actually help to repair DNA, joint support. They boost immunity and support healthy immunity. A big one is that it reduces inflammation. Now, inflammation is a silent killer. And it sounds so innocuous, doesn't it? It's like, oh, look, my finger is inflamed or swollen. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about inflammation all the way down to the smallest particle of you, your cells. You can be inflamed at the cellular level, and most people are, because of everything we just talked about. All of those GMO seeds, all of the chemicals that we're exposed to, all of the pollution that we're exposed to, our bodies become inflamed. Why is that so dangerous? Well, inflammation has been linked by the medical community to hundreds of degenerative diseases. Doctors now know that, yes, we need to watch our cholesterol levels to prevent heart disease, but more importantly, we need to make sure that we're not inflamed. Because if we're inflamed, that's what makes the cholesterol dangerous. That's what makes it stick to the walls of our blood vessels, that inflammation, that irritation. So if you can deal with inflammation, you have dealt with a real big block thing that can help your health go back into a healthy stasis. All right. Now, I want to show you something that I saw. I saw this when I was in Budapest, and I've seen this demonstration several times live. But Dr. Kitskis in Budapest did this demonstration right before my very eyes. He asked for someone to come up from the audience who had not been using any of RAIN's products for a while, so that he had like a control group to see, you know, what was happening in their blood. So this young woman came up. He did a little pinprick on one of her fingers and got some blood onto a slide. And then he was able to look at that slide and project it onto the large screen there that we were watching. So these are her red blood cells. And Dr. Kitsky's explained, now these blood cells are very sluggish, they're clumped together, they're malformed, and why is that? He said, well, because they're not oxygenated. They're not getting enough oxygen. Why is that happening? Well, because the cell membranes are not getting the essential fatty acids that they need to allow that oxygen in and out, to allow the nutrition in and out. So then what he did is he gave that young woman a packet of one of our products called Soul. Now we'll talk about what Soul is here in a second. And then he's, you know, then he went on with his lecture, and a half an hour later, he called that young woman back up to the stage. They did another blood little pinprick on her other finger, put that on the slide, and it's just mind-blowing to see the difference. So here we have the red blood cells that are sluggish, that are all clumped together, and a half an hour later, after she takes Soul, this is what her red blood cells look like. And it's just mind-blowing. They're moving independently. They're fully oxygenated. They're you know, you can see that the shape is you know, rounded. This means that they're getting that oxygen and the nutrition that they need, and they're moving independently. And that means that oxygen is being delivered more effectively throughout your body. Well, our bodies depend on that oxygen delivery. So in a very visual way, you can just see just one of the many things that these products help with. Now, let's talk about the different products. On the far left, that is a product called Soul. It's a little packet. It's a 2-ounce packet of liquid. And what that is it's a seed blend that was actually originally developed by researchers at the University of Maryland. And what they were doing was they were looking for dense nutrition for pediatric cancer patients, young children that had been through cancer treatments, radiation, and chemo, and their systems were very depleted. And so they were looking for a way to restore their immunity, to restore their systems. But of course, these children were small, so their appetites aren't large. And then on top of that, they'd been through some pretty harsh treatments where it affects their appetite. So they needed dense nutrition. What they came up with was this product that we now call Soul, and that we now have the license and the rights to, and patents on. But it's a combination of 3 seeds, 3 very powerful, highly antioxidant seeds. One is the black cumin seed. Then there's the grape Chardonnay seed and the black raspberry seed. Now, I would highly recommend that today you go Google just one of those seeds, black cumin seed, and then type in health benefits. Blow your mind. All of the documented health benefits that have been established in peer-reviewed double-blind studies at major universities on just that one little seed. So black cumin seed, black raspberry seed, grape Chardonnay seed. And then something called D-ribose. Now, D-ribose is a 5-carbon sugar that's present in every cell of your body. It helps the mitochondria of your cell to produce something called ATP. The long word for that is adenosine triphosphate, which is a chemical that helps your cells take food and turn it into energy. So that D-ribose is very important within our system, and Soul is full of it. Also, D-ribose is part of the helix of your DNA. If you've ever looked at what your DNA looks like, it's like a couple little ribbons that are intertwined like that, and that's the helix part. And as we age, chunks of that start to become damaged, and D-ribose can help to repair that. So it's a little liquid. It tastes very pleasant. What they found in independent testing on Soul at a major laboratory called Brunswick Labs, this lab is not connected to RAIN. It's an independent third-party laboratory. They did testing on live human cells with Soul. And they found that there was a 33% reduction in inflammation at the cellular level in the human body when you take a packet of Soul. It's pretty remarkable. And they also found that that effect was cumulative. As you used Soul over time, it added up to be even more anti-inflammatory. They also found that Sol was 2.5 to 3 times more powerful as an antioxidant than any other product that they had ever tested at Brunswick Laboratories. And that's quite a thing. Now, antioxidants fight something called free radical damage in our bodies. Free radicals are rogue molecules that are electrically imbalanced, and they attack your healthy molecules in your body, trying to rip off part of that molecule so that the free radical can patch itself and become whole again. The problem is when it does that, it creates more free radicals. The molecule that it ripped that piece off of is now a free radical, and it's going to go rip pieces of other molecules off. That's a process called oxidation, and that's what ages us. You can see oxidation with your very eyes if you cut an apple in half and let it sit. What happens? It becomes brown and mushy. Why is that happening? Well, it's oxidation. It's that chain reaction of free radicals attacking the healthy molecules. Now, if you squeeze lemon juice on a cut apple, what happens? It stays kind of unspoiled a lot longer. Why is that? Lemon juice has vitamin C, which is an antioxidant. So Sol is 2.5 times higher in antioxidants, 2.5 to 3 times higher in antioxidants than any product that the most prestigious independent laboratory in the country has ever tested. That's pretty remarkable. So it protects our cells. They also found that Sol, when tested on live human cells, increased an anti-aging factor at the cellular level so that the cells were able to live 62% longer. So think about that. Healthy cells make up healthy tissue. Healthy tissue makes up healthy organs. Healthy organs make up healthy people, right? So this is a remarkable product with absolutely medically verified health benefits. Now, here's the thing. We don't claim to treat or cure or prevent anything. We're not doctors, but we have a lot of doctors on our scientific board that will tell you all the things that I've just told you. But our bodies are the miracle. These are not miracle products. Our bodies were meant to be the miracle. Unfortunately, this little miracle that we're all living in is not getting the nutrition that it needs. And when you give the body what it needs, it can be that miracle that it was meant to be. And that's what these products do. All right, let's move over to the next product, just a little bit to the right there. That product is called Core. It's a 1 ounce liquid. Core is also based on cold-pressed black cumin seed, as well as cold-pressed cranberry seeds, and then it's got a ton of greens in it. So aloe vera, spirulina, chlorophyllin, chlorella, kale, milk thistle, dandelion root. I know that I'm skipping some, but that little packet, that little 1 ounce packet, is the equivalent of you spending the afternoon in your kitchen juicing greens. And you would have to drink 7 8-ounce glasses of green smoothie to be the equivalent of one little 1 ounce packet of Core. Now, what Core does is it deals with anything in your body that's a filter. It kind of detoxes it. So your lungs, your skin, your liver, your pancreas, it supports the healthy function of all of those things. And once again, at Brunswick Labs, in live testing on human cells, they found that Core increases the immunity at the cellular level by 61%. That's not a little tiny increase. That's a huge increase. So it supports your immunity. It also helps your body to be more alkaline. And it's full of something called, this is another long word, proanthocyanidins. Whoa! What that is that's a very specific antioxidant that is extremely potent in combating free radicals. So I take Core and Sol every single day. Core, I kind of think of it as cleansing, my cells, and Sol, it's replenishing my cells. Now we have another product there in the middle. This is a product that's currently being reformulated and will be reintroduced later this year. It's called Form. It is a protein, pardon me, it's a protein shake. It's protein powder. It's completely vegan, vegetarian, no animal byproducts. Pea protein, sasha inchi seeds, chia seeds, pomegranate seeds, pumpkin seeds, raw cacao, and other highly potent seeds. Now remember, once again, I said seeds have, all of the proteins that you need, all of those vitamins, minerals, enzymes. So when you get your protein from that source, and seeds have 20 to 30 times the concentration, wow, that's a powerful, powerful thing. It's also packed with something called branched chain amino acids. Branched chain amino acids are the only amino acid chain, and I think there's like 16 or so of them, not sure, but there's a lot of them. Branched chain amino acids are the only amino acid chain that metabolize directly in the muscles themselves instead of in the liver. So these are very important to maintain lean muscle mass. And actually, branched chain amino acids, when you ingest them, they train your body, they train your cells to actually be more efficient at creating lean muscle from protein. So interesting. And this form is just packed full of branched chain amino acids. Moving to the right again, we take a health approach from the inside and also from the outside. Your skin is the largest organ of your body. Everybody's got skin, so we need to take care of our skin. We have a line of products called Reverie that it's a naturally formulated product for your skin, a cleanser, a serum, and a moisturizer. Now, what's so different about Reverie is that the company actually engineered its own patented molecule, and it's called a liposome. It's a specific kind of liposome. But what's interesting about liposomes is that they are both water and lipid soluble, and they mimic your own biology. So when you put this product on your skin does not detect it as something foreign. It detects it as part of itself, and it allows it into the deep layers of the skin. Now, once that little molecule's in there, it's full of seed oils and plant stem cells. Now, when I first heard of this, I thought, well, what are plant stem cells going to do? I'm not a plant. How is that going to help? Well, when we're young, we have a lot of skin stem cells, skin-producing stem cells, and they're packed very tightly together. They stand kind of shoulder to shoulder like little soldiers, right? Well, what happens as we age is those little soldiers start to spread out. That's a disadvantage because when they're close together, they can pass messages back and forth between each other. And that's a very important part of the function of those skin stem cells. They need to be able to talk to each other to do their job properly. Well, when the plant stem cells penetrate in that little liposome molecule into the deep layers of your skin, they actually go in and they fill in the spaces between those spaced out skin stem cells. Now, they can't produce skin, but they can pass messages. So they increase the effectiveness of those skin stem cells, and you start getting prettier skin. When your skin stem cells spread out, that's when you start seeing things like wrinkles, patchy skin, patchy color, age spots, roughness. And so when the plant stem cells go in and start passing those messages back and forth, it increases the effectiveness and you get better skin. And I've seen that on my own little old face right here myself. Moving to the right, the last product that we'll talk about today is called Bend. Bend is also formulated with black cumin seed, so please go Google black cumin seed health benefits today. Black cumin seed, but then glucosamine sulfate. Now, glucosamine is typically derived from sea shells, like from shrimp and crabs and all those, kind of the shells of those animals. This is not done that way. This is extracted from seeds. Once again, this is all vegan, vegetarian friendly, but it's a very powerful form of glucosamine sulfate. And then other things like vitamin E and levagen and curcumin. And that's oh gosh, I'm blanking on, that's a part of the family of, it's an Indian spice, and it's very potent for your health, and I'll think of it here in a second. But curcumin, anyway, pardon me. This formulation is extremely powerful and specifically formulated to support joint and tendon health. Now, I'll tell you, I have one knee that has been scoped and another knee that probably needs to be. And normally when I sit for a couple of hours, and I do that a lot because I'm on the phone a lot for my business, my knees start to lock up and they start to feel they start to feel, they ache. And then when I stand up, I'm kind of stiff. Well, I have to tell you, when I got on Bend, it's like the first couple of days when I started taking Bend, I started noticing, hey, that's not happening. So any of you with any joint issues, I highly recommend Bend. Another thing that black cumin is very good for is, of course, if you deal with inflammation, you can also deal with pain. And I have really noticed that my little aches and pains are just kind of gone. And, I'm not a spring chicken anymore. I hit the big 6-0 this year. So that's getting more and more important. All right. So those are the products. Now, when we talk about these different health benefits, I want you to understand, this is not just that the company made up some things that they think is going to be attractive to buyers. We have a very distinguished scientific board that does all of our research. And of course, all of the ingredients in the different products have their own research done on them at major universities. But let's talk about Dr. Fernando Diaz. Dr. Diaz is one of the world's top neurosurgeons. He was one of the very first people to use robotics to operate on a human brain. This is a guy that knows how to rewire a human brain after a stroke. Dr. Diaz is not only a neurosurgeon, he's also a PhD, a lawyer, and he speaks 7 languages. This guy was not looking for a job, okay? But he was very highly attracted to what Rain was doing. When he saw the products that had been produced, the benefits that they had, the ingredients that they had, he hopped on board as one of our scientific advisors. Dr. Jennifer Cather, she's been part of over 175 clinical trials. Dr. Christina Cook. Christina is just a terrific person. She's become a good friend. And Christina is a Harvard-educated PhD researcher, oncology researcher. She works with the FDA. She works with all of the top pharmaceuticals, helped to develop a little thing called the little blue pill. I'm trying to think of it, and I'm having a senior moment. But men love this little blue pill. Okay. There you go. Okay. So this is a very, very credible scientific board, and more doctors are joining our board daily. Dr. Cook has also established something called the International Seed Nutrition Society. Doctors from all over the world are joining that and are helping to gather and codify all of the research that has been done on not only the individual seeds themselves, but also on Soul and Core and Bend and all of our products. So lots of scientific backing for this. And all of the products are certified. They have so many different certifications. It's remarkable. They're certified non-GMO. Now that's very important because remember I said part of the problem is that we're dealing with a lot of genetically modified seeds. All of the seeds that we use are non-genetically modified, grown without pesticides or heavy metals. They're tested for all of those things, both as the seeds come in to be batched and also the individual products themselves are tested for all of those things. And unless it passes, those products aren't released. So genetically modified, nothing. All right, totally free of that. Certified by Brunswick Labs for the antioxidant levels and the other benefits that we talked about. Certified by the Good Manufacturing Practice Society, certified halal, certified by the National Sanitary Foundation, certified by the Banned Substance Control Group. Now that's very important for athletes. Athletes deal with the World Anti-Doping Association and the Banned Substance Control Group. Well, WADA is part of that Banned Substance Control Group, the World Anti-Doping Association. So an athlete can rest assured that if they use these products, that nothing is going to show up in a blood test that's going to be a problem for them, and that it doesn't contain any toxins that would be a problem for them. Pardon me. And as a matter of fact, many of the athletes that participated in the last Summer Olympics in Rio were training with and competing using Soul and Core and some of our other products form. And these are medalists, silver medalists, gold medalists. So that's pretty interesting. Also, we have a certification from the International Seed Nutrition Society and Health Canada. Health Canada, boy, that's a hard one to get. They are very stringent in what they allow into their country. So lots and lots of certification for what it is that we're doing and for the manufacturing process itself. Now, as far as a business opportunity, can you how many people do you know that are looking for, non-genetically modified, dense nutrition, clean nutrition, convenient nutrition? How many people do you know that are suffering from some of the issues that we talked about? There are a lot of people who need what it is that we have, and that creates an opportunity. And the cool thing about this opportunity is it is not localized. It's not dependent on who you know in your local community. We're in 30 plus markets throughout the world. I think it's 40 something now. But, the first time I ever heard somebody talk about how many countries a network marketing company was in, I thought, well, who cares? I live in Provo, Utah. What do I care if it's in Japan? Well, I'll tell you why you care. And this is just history. In my previous company, I talked to somebody here in Provo, Utah, who knew somebody in California, who talked to somebody in Texas, who knew somebody in Japan, who knew somebody in Hungary, who knew somebody in Australia. And I wound up with a group of 60,000 people and thousands of people in countries throughout the world. So I had a truly international business just because I started in my hometown and started recommending products and opportunity to people there. So this is the opportunity that you have in RAIN. The other thing that I love about this company is its heart. Day one, they established something called the Seeds for Change Foundation. Now, most companies will establish a nonprofit, some kind of a charity that they give to when they need the tax deduction. The heart of this company is that we don't want to just help people earn money. We really want to change the world. We want to leave it a better place. We want to make better people. And that's what the Seeds for Change Foundation is about, established day one that RAIN was established. And they just want to do good throughout the world. They've built schools. They have brought potable drinking water to areas of the world where they didn't have it. Currently, they are partnering with a group called Musana. And Musana is a company, it's a nonprofit that trains at-risk women in Africa and Uganda. They train them in jewelry making. And they give them a skill, and they give them employment, and it allows them to pay for their children's schooling, to have better nutrition, to have better lives. And what RAIN has done is they've given Musana our products so that they can have the nutrition, but on top of that, they've donated land for their business so that they could expand their business. They started out with about 15 women. Now I think there's 100 women that are employed there. They built a school on the property. They built the first library in that area, and now they've created a book sharing program between all of the schools in that area. So they're making it a better place. Now, rather than me explain this to you, what I like to do, I just want to make sure that I'm sharing the sound. So give me 1 second here. I want to share my screen again. There we go. Share computer sound. Okay. And now I want to share my screen again. Let's see. Okay. So I want to play this little video because it can tell the story better than I can. Let's see.
At Musana, we employ women in the community of Lugazi. It's this tiny little sugarcane town in between two bigger cities. Most of the jobs there are labor-intensive jobs that are mostly for men.
Women have the economic burden for the home, and yet there is very little economic opportunity for women. So this very naturally leads to a poverty situation. Malnutrition and poverty go hand in hand. It leads to stunted growth and slowed brain development. access to nutrition is a big key in exiting poverty.
So we're one of the only employers of women in the community. So we have about 20 full-time artisans and about 40 part-time or contract artisans that we're working with. And they come to our workshop every day. The ones with young children bring their children along with them. They work really hard. They hand make all of the beads and everything that goes into our jewelry. They really hone their skills and become experts at jewelry making. Our artisans have a steady income, and so by that they're able to send their children to school and then also create much better opportunities for them moving forward in the future.
Through our partnership with RAIN, we've received nutritional supplements that we're able to distribute to our artisans and their children. We're excited for the progress that we're seeing as they are receiving additional nutrients. Typical food in Uganda is super bland. The food is very starchy and it's very low nutrition. These nutritional supplements, I'm sure, are rocking their world with the flavors they're experiencing. About 20% of our artisans are HIV positive, and having proper nutrition is a key to slowing the progress of HIV.
Having those supplements that RAIN has provided is huge. We can see the change in the lives of these people that we care about.
As a person that's been there on the ground, I can tell you that these contributions are making a difference and are getting at the heart of poverty and what that is. These are resourceful people. These are talented people, passionate people. They care so deeply about their children just as we do. And we're just very grateful and excited for what's happening.
Thank you, RAIN International.
Thank you.
Thank you, RAIN International. Thank you very much.
So that's just a really a heartwarming thing. And I met many of those women. They came to one of our conventions. It was extremely touching to see how RAIN is affecting the world in a real way beyond just the nutrition and the opportunity. Now, also, the Seeds for Change Foundation plants a tree every time somebody joins as a customer or as a distributor. So actually, that number is over 300,000 trees have now been planted by RAIN International. So we're making the world a greener place. So, you know, a lot of times when you come to an opportunity presentation like this and from a network marketing company, you'll hear about the flashy cars and the big home and the millions of dollars and all the things that, that happen in network marketing. But I'll tell you, we're really just about providing a platform for people to create whatever it is that's important in their lives. And, it's about living a life that is well lived. And that looks different to different people. Not everybody's interested in the same things, but people need a platform to create the lives that they want to live. Everybody, wants to be able to pay their bills, provide well for their families, have nice things, do nice things for people, but they need a platform. And RAIN can be that platform for you and for anyone else. If you think about it, sometimes people say, oh, I don't even know if I could do network marketing. Well, guess what? You do it every day. We all recommend things to each other. If you've recommended a book or a movie or a toothpaste or a doctor or a lawyer or a book, you've done network marketing. You just didn't get paid for it. We're social animals. We relate to each other. We recommend things. And in the world now where that can happen instantaneously, just like we're doing, I'm sitting in Provo, Utah. I know there are people in Norway and Sweden and Europe, all over the world who are attending this webinar right now. It's not costing a thing to do that. Information moves instantaneously at the speed of thought now. So you can do this online. You can do it when you want to, and the tools are there for you to do that. RAIN does have a powerful compensation plan. Rather than kind of, draw circles and arrows and get into all the specifics of it. I'm just going to tell you, you get paid on customer purchases, you get paid when people enroll, you get paid as your team grows, you get paid as people on your team and as you advance in rank within the company. So I'm going to kind of try to show you in an illustrated, animated way how that works. So how does one earn income as a RAIN distributor? Well, when you enroll someone into the program, either as a customer or as a distributor, you earn a percentage of the product that they purchase initially. And then as they enroll people, you can also earn bonuses based on their enrollments and on their people's enrollments, etc. Also, as your team begins to grow, based on the weekly consumption, as people are continually consuming the products and recommending it to other people, that team's going to grow and the consumption's going to grow, and based on that consumption, you're going to get a weekly bonus. Then, as people on your team start to earn income themselves, the company will pay you an override based on the incomes of your people. So this is what I love about the industry of network marketing. It is really a cooperative effort. I cannot succeed unless I help you succeed. And to me, that's just the most moral business model that you could ever find. It's synergistic, and it's my success depends on your success. So we all help each other, which is very different than the corporate world. In the corporate world, everybody's competing for the same promotion. Here, everyone can get the promotion. Every single person can become the CEO of their own company. Pardon me. Now, some people might look at that model and say, but honestly, how could I ever create a team large enough to have it be significant income in any way? Well, there's really two principles at work here. The first is you don't work by yourself. You're part of a team that already exists. The minute that you join this business, you become part of your sponsor's existing team. And your sponsor is part of an existing team. And his sponsor is part of an, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Now, as the people that have gone before you, your sponsor and the other people that are in the team before you, as they continue to build their team, some of those people are going to wind up having to be placed below you, in that line below you, on your team. And those people, even though you didn't recruit them or sponsor them, they become part of your team. They become part of the calculation of your individual bonuses. So you get help building your team from the people that have gone before you. That's very important. Also, you get help from the knowledge that the people have gone before you, from the knowledge that they have. You work with them. You don't have to be an expert. You just have to be able to show somebody a video and then get your sponsor on the phone. Now, the second principle that helps you grow a large team very quickly is something called exponential growth. So let's look at what that is. It's kind of geometric growth, a geometric growth pattern. So let's say that you sponsor 2 people in your first month. And then those 2 people, in month 2, they sponsor 2 each. So that adds another 4 people to your team. And that just keeps happening. Those 4 in the next month, they sponsor 2 each. That adds another 8 to your team. And that pattern just keeps going. After 6 months, you have a total of 126 people on your team. If just everybody on your team sponsors 2 people as they move forward. That's pretty good. Now, let's change something. Let's add 2 more people. Let's say that instead of sponsoring 2 people in your first month, you sponsored 4. So you had 126 after 6 months with 2 people. What do you think it'll be with 4 after 6 months? Do you think it might be around 500 or so? Not even close. It's 5,460 people. If you just start with 4 and everybody sponsors 4. Now, there's a huge difference between 126 and 5,460, right? As a matter of fact, that difference is 5,334 people. But the real difference is just 2, the difference between 2 and 4. So this business is based on just helping a few people to know what to do next, so that they can teach those few people to teach others what to do next. Very, very simple, but very powerful. So do you think with the products that we have, with the people that need these things throughout the world, and with these principles of cooperation and exponential growth, that you could build a team? Of course you could. I'm nobody special. I'm a diamond elite in this business. All I did was employ those principles, and you can do the same thing. Now, there are several different ways that people can get started. These are some of the different packs that you can start with. This is a one-time purchase to kind of just get you going, to get product delivered to you that you can share with others, that you can build your business with. And so there's a basic pack, a builder's pack, an elite pack. You just need to decide, which is the right thing for you. There's also another pack just below that basic pack that's like an individual pack with just one box of Soul, and it's about $135. That includes a technology fee. That's a one-time technology fee of $49 that gets you an app for your phone, gets you a back office. Powerful, powerful technology. So there's really something for everybody at every price point. Also, the technology that I talked about for that $49 tech fee, it really puts your business wherever you are. So you have an app for your phone where you literally can just get on your phone, tap the app, and send somebody a video by text or by private message through Facebook or WhatsApp, by email. You can send that instantly, and you don't even have to write the text. The app will write it for you and will access your phone book and send it to whoever you tell it to send it to. And on top of that, it will tell you when the person watches it and how much of it they watched. It'll also remind you to call them back. So I have literally sent somebody a video sitting at a stoplight. It's that easy. Just tap, tap, boom, gone. So information is shared very, very simply. Also, you have a very powerful, it's called your back office. It's just a place on the web where you can go and see the progress of your team, the sales of your team. It has resources that you can access. It tells you everything about your business right there from either a computer screen or from your phone. You can access it on your phone. The company is also developing very powerful social media platforms that will be launched this April at the International Seed Summit. So social media platforms that will allow you to attract people to your business from Facebook or Instagram or any of the other social media platforms. So really what you need to do after you've watched this is just consider, what does it mean to you? My job is simply to educate you on what it is that we have. And your job is to see whether this serves you in any way and at what level. So do you just want to use the products? Fantastic. We can show you how to become a customer. All you do is start buying, and you buy at wholesale. Okay? Do you want to supplement your income? Add an extra few $100, $1,000, $1,500 a month to your income? We can show you how to do that. You want to replace your income? Do you want to be able to walk in and say to your boss, hey, guess what? You're fired. Maybe not, but maybe you'd like to replace your income or double your income. We can show you how to do that. Would you like to have complete financial freedom? We can also show you how to do that. It's all available here, just dependent on what it is that you want to create. So, 5 years is going to go by no matter what any of us do. I think about, where I was 5 years ago in 2013, and it just seems like that was yesterday, and boom, 5 years have gone by. So, where do you want to be in 5 years? What would that look like if you could, kind of be in charge of that and have the best outcome that you want to have in 5 years? What does that look like? Look around yourself at work. Is there somebody who's been there 5 years longer than you? Because that person is a picture of where you're going to be in 5 years. And if that is what you want, perfect, you're on track, you're doing exactly the right thing. If not, then in order to have a different result, you have to do a different thing. Now, this is an opportunity that you can fit into the corners of your life. You don't have to quit your job to do this. Most people do this part-time. I do this full-time because of the kind of money that you can earn and the kind of good that you can do in the world. But you choose what that looks like for you. And then just get back with the person who told you about this and let them assist you in the application process. They can help you become a customer or a distributor. It takes about 3 minutes to really just to do that, and they can assist you online. Listen, I want to thank you so much for your kind attendance today, for your attention. And I just want to welcome you to the world of RAIN. And thank you very much. And we'll see you soon. Take care and have a great day.
Thank you, Paul.